This is a different version of things than we normally do. A little bit spice it up. This is an OAN segment. It's on Rumble, of course. 1580 views. Donald Trump Jr. Biden is patronizing hardworking Americans. Now, this is from I guess the clip they show of him is from the Turning Points USA. Yeah. According to Donald Trump Jr., Joe Biden is failing to impress. Ouch. God, easy on the harsh language, guys. Us betas can't. I'm a snowflake. I can't. How do I even handle? Joe Biden is failing to impress. But don't worry, One America's Yasmin Hovey has more. Which sounds like a sandwich, but okay. Poll: 64% of voters are not confident Kamala Harris is ready to be president. Okay, I watched that chunks on that while I was driving.
Donald Trump Jr. says Biden is failing to impress.
Ouch. Failing to impress. That's Donald. That's literally, if Don Jr. goes a day without impressing, there is no fatherly love.
One America's Jasmine Hovey has the details.
Get it, Jasmine.
In a fiery speech, Donald Trump...
In a fiery speech? In a fondly speech, maybe.
Jr. calls out the radical left's blunders.
They're blunders. Oh my God. Look at the smoke and lights.
Speaking at the turning...
Really? What does he think Please tell me he came out and did K-pop. Is that the Naked News channel?
USA Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida on Sunday. Trump Jr.
Yeah, was it sponsored by a vaping company or?
Said the mainstream media's recent last-ditch effort to downplay concerns about Joe Biden's cognitive state is simply bizarre.
To prove how non-dementia riddled he is.
Oh, this is the Putin one. Yeah.
The media took a quote from Vladimir Putin. They go, no. Look, Vladimir Putin, after talking with Joe Biden, says he's very sharp.
In June, Political Wire published an article saying, quote, Vladimir Putin disputed...
Putin. That's right, Putin. OAN's the One America network. And we as Americans, we don't say the T in your name. All right? I'm spilling the tea, Putin. P-U-apostrophe-N. That's your fucking name now, buddy. Putin.
The narrative used by some
this is the
Republicans.
What me worry pose?
Questioning Joe Biden's mental health.
Really?
Really? You don't want to cut back to him going, really? As you're saying mental capability.
Vlad's really sharp. Joe's really sharp. Vlad's...
Also, don't show the part where he swaps the guy's names.
And so, look, that's the example. I mean, they are using Putin, who is laughing his ass off at us.
Well, he's like, yeah, you and your dad, sure.
Who's taking us to school on a global basis. You think Vladimir Putin is happy that he's negotiating against Joe Biden versus Trump? He's thrilled. He'll say whatever he wants because he's getting what he wants, right?
Trump Jr. stressed giving Russia freedom to complete their Nord Stream 2 pipeline project, all while...
This is my first time watching an OAN news segment. Do they all sound like school projects? You know what I mean?
Canceling America's Keystone XL pipeline project is...
Canada's Keystone XL pipeline project.
Putting American taxpayers last. Donald Trump Jr. went on to add, while the Biden administration attempts to sugarcoat this, Americans can see right through it.
And then they get really patronizing.
Why didn't you just play the segment? Why are you telling us what he said when you have tape of what he said?
Right?
Why don't you just... Here's a good idea. Why don't you play the actual thing and then play the pictures that you were gonna say? Oh, because he talks shit and it's nonsense, and if you actually play the whole thing, he comes off as an asshole, coked out of his gourd, and he gets lost and kind of bored and kind of goes a bunch of times. That's why I see.
You, us, me. Everyone that they consider not one of theirs, the peasants. That's how they think of us. But you should be grateful because you saved 16 cents on your barbecue on 4th of July. But I'll say, The only
Yeah, they had to cut out of that because even they aren't getting what the fuck he's talking about.
problem with it is, if you have to get in your car to go get said barbecue, and you drive about...
Look, when they're cutting his dad's flubs out, it's one thing. Because he's older, he kind of got lost his way.
12 feet, savings is gone.
Trump Jr. went on to add Biden's business
Not if you have an electric car. All the way to the store and back.
dealings with Vladimir Putin suggest a glaring double standard.
It wasn't just an oil pipeline, right? What was the next thing that happened? They canceled an aid package to the Ukraine, right?
No, they didn't. Now, I understand if you were doing a news segment, covering it like I did this live. But even I knew from when that story came out that had since been debunked. That never happened. That did not occur. They cut this shit together months later.
I don't know, guys. I'm old enough to remember 8 months ago when that was grounds for impeachment.
He says,
No. See, driving 6 nails through one piece of wood into another is not a crime. Nor is digging a hole, nor is filling the hole in. But if all 3 of those activities are lined up to bury someone alive, see what happens? It's not the actions that are the problem. It's what you... the intent.
on top of putting America last with naive foreign business deals, the Biden administration is actively trying to redefine the American flag as a symbol of oppression.
Actively trying to. This is good. All right, let's see how this happens. As opposed to right-wingers who just want to leave it in a field to get rained on.
Despite the flag standing as a central symbol of freedom since the nation's founding.
Do you think maybe the flag just stands for freedom? For liberty?
For my shirt.
For justice? But
For a prop my dad can rub his dick on.
because the narrative will now be dictated by the White House and told to social media, that will no longer be the case.
President Trump's son says all this
Citation needed.
leads to a clear track record of hypocritical leadership.
Are we seeing a pattern here, folks?
Yes. If you snort a bunch of coke before talking to a big group of young people, you'll come across as a guy who fell down a flight of stairs and ended up at a TED Talk.
That's the hypocrisy. And the arbiters of truth want nothing to do with the truth. They are there to fulfill the narrative.
But he warns
Wouldn't they be the arbiters of narrative?
that amid all these blunders, the impacts are devastating for the American middle class and not a laughing matter.
It's hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting there being like, man,
Oh, this is the gas thing.
think of what it's doing to hardworking Americans who are
That's the gas. That's the filling up his tank. If I was the son of a billionaire, and he actually said the quiet part loud.
working hard to feed their families. They're taxing the hell out of them already, and that's before they implement the other garbage that they want to throw at you.
He is calling on conservatives to stand together in the face of adversity,
While shitting on rhinos.
especially as the cards seem increasingly stacked against them. Jasmine Hovey,
Well, it's not cards that are stacked against them. It's cinder blocks in the cells that they're being kept in from trying to murder cops on January 6th. That's stacked against them.
One America News.
Want to see more videos?
No, I don't. I don't even know what the fuck I just watched. Seriously, doesn't this sound like a high school project? And I'm not sure again why they need it. Is she like the Trump wisp translator in this? Christ Almighty! Obviously, we all know OAN, like RSBN, is really an online money laundering organization. They just, through super chats and other stuff that they get on their other networks, they just basically take in money and hide it elsewhere. It's basically like, how can we have the CBN without Pat Robertson's bullshit? That's what this is.